The Ducks made a ton of line changes for this game. Every line and D pairing was different. These are the kind of adjustments you'd expect after a bad game. Something we could have used following the losses to the Avalanche or the Kings. Not after a solid effort against a Stanley Cup contender in the Rangers. I'm not mad about the changes themselves. It's obvious most lines aren't clicking right now, aside from the Terry, Strome, Vetrano line. Just the timing felt weird. On paper, the changes look like a great idea, and I was hyped going into the game against the Devils. But the new lines didn't work at all, and by the third, we were back to the same lines and defensive pairings from the previous game. To Cronin's credit, he at least made an in-game adjustment, which is something he never does. But something feels off. Why do McTavish and Zegras look like shells of themselves? What is going on with them, and just the team in general for half the nights? Some of the blame falls on the players, no doubt, but where's the effort? Cronin has to have them ready, and so far, that hasn't been the case. The players need to get their heads out of their butts and skate. Right now, they look robotic, as if they're afraid to make mistakes. The Ducks system right now has no creativity and is just too predictable for defenses to defend. The Ducks also took their first too many men penalty of the season, which is frustrating because the issue plagued us all last year, and that's 100% on the coach. One thing I've noticed during Duck scrimmages is that they don't seem to practice line changes. In 5-on-5 scrimmages, they seem to only switch during stoppages after a whistle. But then, when they move to 4-on-4, they do proper line changes on the fly. It's a weird inconsistency thing, and it seems like that lack of proper practice is catching up with them in the games. Granted, the Ducks actually practice breakouts a lot in practice, and they have looked terrible for the most part this season. Not gonna lie, I had a hard time writing this one. Normally, I sleep off the bad games to get a clearer perspective, but I'm still mad. We're not even 10 games in, but we're seeing the same problems that haunted us last season. I do think the Ducks have looked better overall than last year, but I just don't know. Pure frustration at this point. One game they look fine, the next they look like crap. It makes no sense. Another box of chocolate season is coming, it feels like, just like this game. The Ducks got outshot 16-7 in the first period, but honestly, it was a solid road period. We even had the lead after one. Terry entered the zone with speed, backing off the defenders and creating space for McGinn, who buried it. That goal extended Terry's point streak to 7 straight games. Then everything just fell apart. The Devils scored 5 unanswered, 4 in the second, and 1 more in the third. I didn't think I'd have to use this line this early in the season, but there were so many goals, I don't have to talk about them or something. The common theme of those goals, a complete lack of effort by the Ducks. It's safe to say the second period was the worst period of the season so far. Surprisingly, the Ducks outshot the Devils 16-6 in the third, though it didn't feel like it. The Ducks finally decided to show some effort with 5 minutes left, and hey, it was a pretty play. Strome stole the puck, moved it to Gauthier, who sent a nice cross-ice pass to Fowler. Fowler fed it back to Strome for the finish. But too little, too late, as they say. The Devils got number 6. They did it just for the 6 to my stomach meme, so thanks for that. I can't really blame Reimer for any of the goals. He was left out to dry all night. Though this likely was his last game as a Duck, since I expect Gibson to be back in net against the Penguins. Anyway, even if Dostal had started, it might have ended up being 4-2 instead. Big whoop. Let's see. Anything else worth mentioning? Ross Johnston dropped the gloves 2 minutes in, but it felt pointless, just like his 10 minutes of ice time. I wish he would have fought when Reimer got ran into, or Zegras got hit while he was sitting on the ice later instead. In fairness, Johnston was one of the few players who actually did his job last night. Cutter had some great chances, but the puck just wouldn't go in for him. He missed wide, but got the rebound and was oh so close, and later had a one-timer on the power play that clanged off the post. As the saying goes, he's just snake-bitten. The power play looked decent, though that's not saying much when you can't score. At least they are getting closer. There also seemed to be a lot of players slipping and falling on the ice, so maybe the ice conditions weren't great. Once again, Zellweger was probably the best player, leading in ice time. He seemed to be the only one trying for a full 60 minutes, and he is making a strong case to be a mainstay in the lineup. That means Leno should be sent down. He really struggled again last night. He wasn't strong enough, which is the main reason Verbeek thinks he's ready. His decision-making isn't quite where it needs to be, and he's still taking too long of shifts and getting burned. He's close, but some more time to adjust in the AHL will help. Hopefully, when the team returns to California, Leno gets sent down, and Vakanainen can get some games in. It will be interesting to see what the lineup looks like for the Ducks' next game against the Islanders at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Just compete, please. Thank you to our members. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and go Ducks!